Okay, so hi, I'm Miss Blake. I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of an overview of sort of what this course is going to be like. So each week, each Sunday at 11:59 p.m., I will post the next week's course content. So each week there will be a folder that kind of contains like reading responses that are going to be due. It contains lectures from me. It may contain supplemental videos. It'll have quizzes. It will have everything you need to have for that week will be in a folder. So the way it will be set up, it will be Monday through Sunday is sort of how the weeks will work. So this first week begins Monday the 9th, and it will end October 15th, this Sunday. That's when your first reading response is going to be due. So in this video, I just want to sort of give a little bit of an overview and then kind of take you through on Blackboard to make sure that we all know where we're going to be and what's going on. So if you will go to your Blackboard, should look like this. If you get into this course, you want to click on Start Working. And then you should see this first folder that's posted will say Begin. And next week will say Week 2, and it may have the titles of what's going on, and then Week 3, etc. through, and it will always have your dates there. So click on Begin, and the first thing you'll see is an Introduce Yourself. So you need to make sure to do this by Wednesday the 11th, which is tomorrow evening if you're watching this when it's posted, by midnight. So make sure that you just answer these sort of questions. So click on Introduce Yourself. I've posted a video here, so you can go ahead and click on that, and that will take you to a video that I've posted that introduces me. So you want to click on Create Thread, and you want to type as a subject your first and last name, and then you can either copy and paste and kind of answer these questions. You can submit your own video by recording it, posting it to YouTube, and then inserting the link. And you just need to, or you can just write out sort of a bit of a paragraph to kind of explain who you are, some interesting things about you. Make sure once you do that, you also click on other classmates and start conversations with them and talk to them, and that's going to be due by Sunday at midnight. So if you go back, that's the first thing that you want to do is introduce yourself. Here is the syllabus quiz. That is going to just kind of test your knowledge on, make sure that we've looked at the syllabus. If you don't know where to find the syllabus, you can go over to the left-hand side and click syllabus, and there's your core syllabus. So it will have all the information that you need to have, and that will help you answer those questions about the course. Right here is posted some reading response instructions, because as you'll see on the course calendar, reading responses are going to be due every week. So the reading response instructions sort of talk about what those are going to be. So essentially what you're going to do is read the textbook chapter that's assigned, and you're going to post a response by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Of course, as you'll see in the syllabus, all of my assignments have 12-hour grace periods, which means that if it's due at 11:59 p.m., I will take it up until Monday at noon with no penalty, and after Monday at noon, I will not accept your assignment. So kind of for details, you can look at the course calendar, which is in the syllabus. So here's some information about reading responses. You want to make sure that your post is a reflection of the chapter, not a summary. So you don't want to just say this is what the chapter was about, because we all know, because we can all read it. So you want to indicate which parts made sense to you, which sections you had questions about. Relate something that you read to something outside the classroom, right? So maybe you're reading about something in the early Renaissance, and you say that reminds me of this movie or this ad that I saw, an experience that you had that connects to some sort of piece of literature that you read about. Really anything that makes it a little bit more personal to you, and you can connect what you've learned to something in the outside world. Your post should be about 300 to 500 words. So I recommend that you type out your reflection in a Word document. So like pull up Word and write it out, and then when you're finished, copy and paste your response into the text box on Blackboard. When I do say text box, I mean when you come out to it and you click on it here, you're going to again create a thread. You type your first and last name, and then you can paste that into that section. So to paste onto Blackboard, you have to hit Control V. That's just important to know. You can't actually right click and paste it. Please do not attach your response to the file. It makes it more difficult to read because remember your classmates will need to be reading it so they can write reports on it. And if we have to open it up every time, that is more difficult. So go ahead and copy and paste it. Your post should cover at least 3 topics divided into paragraphs you found noteworthy from the chapter. So each paragraph should have at least one direct quote from the chapter to help support your point. So it should not be its own sentence. It should not be in quotation marks. Or it should be its own sentence. It should not be in quotation marks. It should have a page number listed, no longer than 2 lines of text. So an example would be the idea that meaning is co-created by both the speaker and the listener. So if that's your quote, then you would put the page number next to it. Holds true because many conversations have been misconstrued because of a misunderstanding, right? So you would say, you would find a direct quote that you think is really relevant and then that connects to your idea, right? So you would say the idea that and then put that quotation mark or so-and-so said and then put that quotation mark and then put the page number that you found that on to cite that source and then talk about your real life experience. So each paragraph should have a topic sentence that helps the reader know what to expect in the paragraph, right? So it kind of has a little bit of a paragraph that's like, this is what I'm talking about. Each reading response should have an introductory paragraph that contains an attention-getting first sentence and a thesis sentence, right? So something that's going to hook us in, like why do we want to read your response? If everyone has to read 3 responses, why should we read yours? Something very interesting that's going to start us off. And a couple of sentences of kind of exactly what you're going to talk about. You should end your responses with a few discussion questions so that people can respond to you. So it's going to be good if you can kind of show us that we want to respond to you in some way. So basically your grades each week will be depending upon, it's one important thing to notice, avoid using I in your posts as well as I believe or I think. They weaken your point, right? So instead of saying I think it's raining outside, say it's raining outside. You don't have to question it. You're really making your point, right? These are your thoughts. So don't say I think or maybe, just put out what you feel. So adhere to those guidelines. That's how I'm going to grade it and show that you understand what we're talking about. So that's some sort of information about reading responses. Another one is about discussion post instructions. So you can click right here to kind of understand how you should respond to your classmates. So in order to do that, you want to make sure that, let me fix this here. So you want to make sure that there are at least 100 words and that you respond to 3 people each week. And you also want to moderate your own thread. So if people are commenting on your thread, you want to say, thanks for your response, etc. What do you think about this? Or I'm glad you agree. Don't you think this? Or I see that you have a different opinion. Make sure to moderate it. So your responses on your classmates' posts each week should be about 100 words, and they can't be things like, good job, well put, I agree, I disagree, with nothing else, right? So you want to make sure that you have some kind of conversation about it. So you should begin your post with something like, hi, John, I agree with your stance on something specific. Or I disagree with this section because, and then give your own opinion. So you want to end your post with a question to the original post to encourage conversation. So basically what these are, these reading responses, is if we were in class, right, we would read the material and then we would talk about it together. So this is where your response is your response, right? Your discussion would be like talking to your classmates about their thoughts. So you want to make sure to post at least 3 people. Those are all going to be due by Thursday at midnight of each week. So the posts will go up by Sunday. So you'll have Sunday through Thursday to make sure that you are responding and moderating to your own thread. So that's when those are going to be due. So the final thing, like I said, is each week you will have these. Make sure that you go to your reading response section, click on it, click create thread, type your first and last name, and then copy and paste your response, and then click submit. So that is going to be how you do that. So I hope this information is helpful. If you have any questions about anything, make sure that you email me. My email's on the syllabus. You can give me a call during my office hours. You can find my office hours and information about me over here where it says my instructor. You can click on that. It has my email, my phone number, my office location. So if you do happen to be in Poto and you want to come see me, these are my times. It's best just to email me to make sure that nothing's going on with me. I'm not out of my office. I should be here during these times though. So if you have any questions about any of that, feel free to make sure that you contact me. I hope this is helpful. I'm excited to get started.